Today's change will make a full year of changing English every single day until I get sponsored by Mountain Dew, leaving the Doomsday finale aftermath in the background because it's a mess, and I had to go about and try to kind of put out some fires of a little bit of the panic from people close to me for having that word very prominently featured on the screen and hinted at. And their reaction was, of course, warranted. It's unfortunate that the call of like, hey, everybody, listen, is always picked up most by those that actually listen. And I want to clear up some things through this final change and really clarify that that was not a defeated video. That was not me giving up. I did give this list of things that I think are realistic options after the deadline, and that was being honest, because that's an issue that I've dealt with for the last 6 or 7 years and is never more than a step away. But that's far from anything new for me, and what I've done over the last year plus has really been built to prevent that as much as possible. So although it's a scary reveal, those have been the stakes for me, my life, this entire time. And really going through this full process has just been the mechanism to try to save it, to try to rescue myself. And that's a word that the Gavin that does the OG Groove Group with Gav with, he mentioned a couple days ago. He's like, that one's strange, it bothers me, do you want to change that? I'm like, I needed one more word that I wasn't set on. I'll do that. It's perfect, and it's a strange word. It really is. Like, as much as I tried to look into the origin of it to try to make sense of it, I only got more confused. And even though Q is better than the old version of Squate, it's still a mess with that structure. Every mind jump that you try to go through to make that word work is just a pain. But here's one that isn't. The new version is herelp, which is kind of like when a hero is here to help herelp. And I think pronunciation could go herelp or herelp, the latter being smoother and easier to say, but I feel like both of them work. And if you're thinking, hey, I still wanted to work for my rescue dog, you can be like, hey, this is someone that you bring home that will yelp. It's a herelp. Yep, there you go. And so I've given Mountain Dew the option about 400 times to herelp over this last year, and I have now really built in every single thing I am as a human that I believe in and that I appreciate into this series. It's all there with a huge demonstration of creativity, belief, and commitment. And they can choose to herelp or forsake. But I'm not going to give up on everything that I just established, because it's the one thing that I thought could work. And it's the one thing that has helped more than anything this Gabo Jabo I've been on. And I'll sample a little video clip here that I think will explain a lot of what this series has been about in this channel.
If you configure your life so that what you are genuinely doing is aiming at the highest possible good, then the things that you need to survive and to thrive on a day-to-day basis will deliver themselves to you.
And it's something that I actually probably haven't seen for years, but it's an idea that I have certainly adopted and strove for.
And it's not some simple hypothesis, right? Because what it basically says is, if you dare to do the most difficult thing that you can conceptualize, your life will work out better than it will if you do anything else. Well, how are you going to find out if that's true? Well, it's a Kierkegaardian leap of faith. There's no way you're going to find out whether or not that's true unless you do it.
And also the ideas are sourced from an interpretation of the Bible, and it's not like I've been positive on religion through this series, but I certainly think that there is value and wisdom that can be pulled from it, but there's plenty of other issues I have. But when you're U7, you learn from everything.
But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
So what I thought would help me become the best version of myself, and that would make a lot of sense, was a Mountain Dew sponsorship. So I crafted a plan that I thought could most make it happen, and Wippy went after it.
If everything that you're doing every day is related to the highest possible aim that you can conceptualize, well, that's the very definition of the meaning that would sustain you in your life.
And that's why I went as extreme as I did, because you know when you're pulling punches, you know when you're not giving everything. And if I didn't, I knew I'd collapse.
Well, all hell's about to break loose and chaos is coming. It's like when that's happening in your life, you might want to be doing something that you regard as truly worthwhile. Because that's what will keep you afloat when everything is flooded. And you don't want to wait until the flood comes to start doing that, because if your ark's half built and you don't know how to captain it, the probability is very high that you'll drown.
And so that's why I've dedicated so much to this and continue to, and why I went as dramatic as I did yesterday, and why those are all things that could happen. As I said, there's not a limit to what I will sacrifice for what I believe in, because what I believe in is the only thing that has got me through the last year plus, and it's the thing that's most likely to continue to do so. So I wanted to reflect how much its predecessor has really simplexed me this entire time, as well as how determined I am to keep it going. Because yes, I've been asking for a sponsorship for this full year, but it was never about accumulating wealth for myself. It's always been about helping others and finding a way to continue this process, allow me to do the things that I love and that I'm best at so that I can help more people. So I had to find a way to build these connections that were just absent in my life for the most part, and get people that I cared about to work with me so that we can work towards the betterment of everyone and everything. And I've proved that with the wish list. That's what it is. $30,000 for charity, $1,000 for me, and a try-chart that we are working towards the better in the future. And it's nothing that I wouldn't do myself and that I haven't done already. And I also wanted to talk about a couple points that were brought up last night by, I was talking with my parents and they were obviously concerned. And there were two statements that I kind of want to refute, and I feel like that Mountain Dew may think, or that other people may think, that I feel like I have very good answers for, or at least that I would like to give my perspective on. And my dad was kind of saying that this isn't how companies work. Most companies would completely ignore you in this scenario. And my response for that is that this series and what I've done over the last year plus has not been about fitting into the world we're in. It's about working towards the world that I want and the world that I think would be better, and doing everything on my personal level to work towards that direction. And then the other thing was, okay, if they give you this money, everyone's just gonna come around asking for money. But people do that already. People ask for sponsorships from companies. No one does what I just did. I tried to correct and improve things in an entertaining fashion, constantly staying accountable and creative, working towards things every single day by making minimum one video a day, making a song to recap everything I did every single month, creating weekly posts to update on our progress and continue to reflect Mountain Dew, all while trying to make other creative different videos, working a full-time job, and never compromising the person I believe in, doing things the right way and maintaining quality and being everything I want to be and believe in, and showing appreciation for all the things I care about. All directed at a company that I care for, that I historically had did things for, and that I had great alignment with for everything that I am and would do. If everyone did what I just did, is that behavior that we absolutely can't reward? That's a problem. Something wrong with our Intuit CoFlow, something wrong with the way sponsorship works, something wrong with our world. And just like this series was every single day, I took something that's a problem, that could be improved. Let's try to do that, and let's see if we can find a better way. I feel like I did. Are sponsorships just supposed to be, this person has a bunch of value right now, let's see how a company can absorb them and capitalize on them? I don't think it has to be that. Maybe it should be. Here's someone that aligns with us, someone that has talents that we think could work for people that like our product. How about we take that person that has demonstrated that they're committed to us and care about us, and we help them achieve what they want to and create benefit for everyone? Is that a terrible thing? We can't reward that? Maybe it's just me, but I don't think that's such a bad thing. Giving you a lot of chances, Mountain Dew. You didn't help when I needed you most, but you can help now, and past this point, it's only going to be harder to do so with the consequences risen. Never too late to do the right thing, but it does get more difficult. For anyone that wants to catch up, I've got a good playlist on my YouTube where if you're new, it kind of gives you the important videos across the year. Not going to be a short experience because I feel like I've done a lot of significant things, but it's a decent Spark Notes version if you need it. We're going to move on to Whip's picks, which I'll do for today and then one more tomorrow, because tomorrow we'll also have a lesson of what the Due Doomsday deadline, January 5th, will be renamed to for the rest of this channel, and I'll give a little update on that. And it will be the last day that Mountain Dew has to say yes or no. From January 6th on, I might not be able to herelp you. And then there's whatever's next for Wippy Thoughts. We'll figure it out. Song of the day is Changes by Tupac. Just a phenomenal song. Still rings very true today, which is a very sad thing, but it really just talks about not seeing changes and detailing a lot of the problems of the time. I think it came out in 1998. Year I was born, actually, and a lot of the problems still persist. So this song is a great detailing of kind of the necessity of change, or at least what the world is like without it, and a demonstration of a lot of the problems within it. A simple yet stellar chorus accompanied by fantastic verses from Tupac. This song is kind of like a perfect capsulation of this series, I feel. However, I was holding back on it for the longest time because I thought of maybe doing it for a wrap-up, which is possible I could do that for this last one, but I'm unsure exactly the direction I'll go with the final wrap-up. Partly because I want the deadline to pass and see like what happened for the full series and then capture everything. But I thought it needed to get into Song of the Day at some point because it's just such an important one and a great reflection of this series. Then the video of the day is the one that I sampled with Jordan Peterson, and kind of this little talk about aspiring to the highest good and genuinely and fully going for it. And this video maybe gets a little bit repetitive as most of kind of Jordan Peterson's stuff goes. Like, he has helped kind of mold a lot of things that I think are really strong and powerful about myself and that have helped me get out of some depressive moments. But once you listen to him for a while, it does get very all the same. And I feel like that even kind of happens in this 7 minutes here. But still very important ideas, powerful ideas, ones that I think are pretty core to me, or at least that I've tried and that I would love to be true. So that's kind of why I've worked towards them. I think Jordan Peterson can get a tough rap at times, but for someone that can think so deeply and powerfully about things and can connect a lot of different structural ideas, I think it's important to listen to people like that. Which, saying that out loud, like, I feel like kind of an asshole, because it's essentially what I've tried to do over the year. But I think speaking of those types of things can really result in some wonderful wisdom that just will continue to build and improve things. And I think there is a ton of ideas that Jordan Peterson has come out with that have been super helpful, mostly centered around individual accountability, responsibility, and aspiration.